Cummins Real Estate Group show with the one, the only, lovely and talented Michelle Cummins. How you doing, Michelle?
Good, Curtis. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I wanted to give you a big intro there.
I love your intro. I just take it straight. I'm like, oh, God, I love it. You know, people like hearing good things about themselves, right?
That's right. So how's your week been going?
I'll take it when I can. Great. And Kelly had her birthday last week, and I saw that you hiked Golden Ears, and you had such a great time. And well, how did it go? Like, how was her birthday?
Oh, it was great. Well, I took Wednesday off because she had the day off, and it was her birthday, so I said I'll take the day off too. And we went up to Golden Ears. We hiked the lower falls and looked at the crystal clear, beautiful water out there. And then we went and had lunch and, didn't really swim because it wasn't quite super warm at Alouette Lake. And it's not exactly the warmest lake to begin with. Not that it's that bad, but so we decided that we would, just kind of dip our feet in a little bit, have lunch, and make a day of it.
You know what? I've never hiked Golden Ears. That sounds like it would be fun because it's beautiful.
It is. It's beautiful out there, and there's a lot of there's a lot of trails there. Like you have a choice of a few different trails. So.
Ooh, okay, I love it. I've got this whole, for Harrison Hot Springs, all the trails around Harrison Hot Springs and, a couple other places, but Golden Ears I must do. It's my birthday, actually, this coming Friday, but I don't plan on hiking, although that sounds like a very nice, relaxing day.
Yeah, it was definitely a good day, but, I'm sure Richard can come up with something better than that for you.
Oh, we've done kind of the same thing. Sometimes we'll go find a little creek somewhere and just sit there and make a little fire by the creek and just do nothing. Sometimes those are the best birthdays when you have a busy life.
Yeah, and what I like about Golden Ears, when you get further into the park, there's no cell service, so you can't be tempted to look at your phone.
Yes. Oh, that would be so hard for me. But...
That would be hard for you. You'd have to suck it up and deal with it.
Oh, my goodness. Talking about birthdays, I really, really hope I can get down to see my dad for his birthday in October. Do you think the border will be open and I won't have to quarantine and Richard and I can go down and up by then?
You know what? I really don't know.
Don't you know everything, Curtis?
No, I just pretend I do.
Aren't you the man behind the curtain?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. No, I'm more Cowardly Lion than I am Wizard of Oz.
Oh.
Put him up, put him up, put him up. I'll fight you one paw behind my back.
Okay, now I got to watch that movie again. I love it. Did you know my dad was there when they auctioned off all the stuff from that movie and her red shoes, and he remembers it so clearly. It is so neat. I wish I could have been there.
Oh, wow.
For that. Yeah, it was really cool. He's making these vanilla extracts for me. He makes them for my home buyers gift baskets, and I ran out. And so I've got all this personal kind of handmade and choice things, and that's something I put in there. And so I need him, and he's all, well, I can mail them to you. I'm like, I want to come down and pick them up, though, so bad.
Well, yeah, we'll wait and see. I mean, it's such a fluid situation. Who knows? Maybe in a month or two, the border might be open. Maybe it'll be closed till the end of the year. I mean, I have no idea.
Who knows? That crystal ball.
Yeah, but... Yeah. But that being said, of course, you having American, background, being born there, you can, I'm sure, at least travel across the border. Unlike, say, if I want to go down, it better be for work or I'm not getting across.
Yeah, true. But I don't want to have to self-isolate, though, for 2 weeks. That would just be too much. But, I'll go with the flow and see. Maybe mailing's the best way to go. I have to explain to you, I viewed a property this last week in Mission that actually is Matthew Good's house. Him and his wife built it. I don't know if you know about it.
I don't know about the house. I mean, I've seen him play live a few times back in the 90s and early 2000s, and I know his music quite well.
Oh gosh. Okay. So this house is really cool. It's up for sale. It's one of the most unique properties for sale right now, and it's almost 2 acres, and it's actually like an equestrian estate. There's 3 stalled barns that are heated and automatic water, and there's paddocks and a riding ring. It's called Lark Rise. It's really cool, the architecture and the design, and it's a 3-bay garage. I was like, Richard would love this. But Matthew Good he doesn't own it right now. He sold it to the people who own it right now, but they have this picture on the wall. Matthew, it's one of his records, one of his awards or whatever, and it's up there on the wall. And he left it for these current buyers. So these sellers who bought it from him are going to keep that there for the new owner. So, hey, if anybody's out there looking for a great property and wants some historic and some neat stories and where he used to play with his band all the time and this and that, and you don't have an agent helping you, give me a call. I would love to sell this property because it's so unique and so beautiful and so private. It's priced at $1,749,900.
Okay, so apparently record sales were good in the 90s for Matthew Good.
Exactly. So I'm sure you know somebody looking for property out there. Start racking your brain, Curtis.
I will. I will start thinking about who could possibly want to buy Matthew Good's old house.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Okay, so we probably should move on to what we're actually going to talk about today, which is the top 10 real estate questions answered today on our show. Are you ready?
I hope you're answering them because I probably maybe know the answer to one.
I'm sure you know after 2.5 years of this or whatnot that you probably know every single question and every single answer.
You know, I would like to think so, but I hosted a gardening show for 2.5 years in the beginning of my radio career, and I cannot keep a plant alive to this day.
Oh, well, I'm with you there. I have no green thumb either.
Yeah, I let the expert do all the talking. I just push the buttons.
Button pusher. Okay, so you let me know if there's a question at the end of this that maybe you have that I haven't answered. But this is what mostly all the stats and the research show that are the top 10 real estate questions. So the first one is you're thinking about buying your first home. Where do I start, you ask? So step one is to get pre-approved for a mortgage. People think, I'm going to have a look first, what's out there, and then maybe talk with an agent, and they just don't know. But the first step is to talk with a mortgage provider, and not just your bank that you bank with, but an actual mortgage broker I would recommend. A pre-approval lets you know how much you can spend, and it locks you into the current interest rate for 90 days or more, depending on which bank your mortgage broker gets your approval from. It's allowing you to shop with confidence, so you aren't wondering. And so many people think they can afford this, and then they go and they find out, oh shoot, it's $100,000. I'm $100,000 less, and they just spent 6 months or up to a year or however long wishing and hoping and looking and searching. You know, we live in this 8-second world today, and the longer we put into unnecessary things, it stresses you out more. It causes more emotional, curves. Buying real estate is stressful already, but it's supposed to be exciting. So relieve your stress, and if you do things in the proper order, you will actually have a really enjoyable transaction, and you should really have success. So that would be the first thing. And plus, if the interest rates go down after your pre-approval, don't worry, you will get that lower rate. But if they go up, you're protected from those interest rate hikes while you have that pre-approval. So keep note that after you put an offer on a place, you still have to make it subject to financing because the bank still has to approve the property that you're purchasing. So this pre-approval is approving you for a certain amount. And you'd be surprised at some things you don't think about. So I just had a buyer yesterday. I had a good long conversation with him. He's not a first-time home buyer. And in all ways, it seemed like he would be approved for the amount he wanted, and it wouldn't be a problem. I referred him to my mortgage provider, and today it was found that he needs at least 6 more months established of this and that and the other thing. So you just never know. And you may think, oh, no, it's no problem whatsoever, but you're not thinking something that you don't know what you don't know. So that's the first thing, and don't be shy from doing that because it doesn't take long, and it definitely saves you a whole lot of time. Okay, so 2, is there a best time of year price-wise to buy a home? So there really isn't, surprisingly. I mean, prices depend on a number of factors like supply and demand, which right now we've got more demand than supply, and other housing market conditions as well. So these can vary greatly from city to city and from neighborhood to the next neighborhood. Rather than season, the number of days on market is the biggest indicator of your negotiating power. So it really depends on the motivation of the seller. Are they asking way too much for their house in any type of market? That's out there. Are they asking, lower than value? And so it goes pretty quickly, and that could happen in a buyer's market even, where there's multiple offers on a property that's just priced really low. So if the home is recently listed, the seller will have had less time to test the market, engage buyers' responses to the price, and will be less likely to negotiate. It's any time. I always say when you're thinking about buying, and that question is, well, what time? I'm wondering if I should wait, and what time of year is the best? Really, it's any time that you're pre-approved and you're ready and can purchase, and you find the right house for you or the right product or the right property, that's when you buy. And really, the negotiation then is after it. You're approved, then you find the right place. Now, if you get a great price for it, then, hey, that's the time to buy. So don't wait it out. You can't really time the market. And then 3, can I buy a home with no down payment? So this is funny that this is still a question because, they did used to, anybody could put 0% down, never had to have a dime in order to buy a place. But you do need 5% down now. So the down payment is an essential part of the purchase. So there may be some private lenders who offer different things like that. But if you're going to go, with lower than 5% from a private lender, you're going to pay a whole lot more in interest. So just go traditionally, 5% down. You're a stronger buyer that way. You're protected. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing that you need 5% to put down. So this is generally not recommended to do lower than that. So don't cut corners and risk your home and investment. Just save up at least 5% of the purchase price and consider reducing home buying budget maybe to make it more affordable. So aside from a good old scrimping and saving, you can also take advantage of the first-time home buyers plan if you are a first-time home buyer. So there you can borrow up to $35,000 from your RSPs tax-free for, I believe it's up to 30 years before you have to pay it back or put it back into your RSPs. So that's a great incentive. And the first-time home buyers incentive, which also helps home buyers. The first-time home buyers incentive is a shared equity mortgage with the Government of Canada. It offers 5 or 10% for a first-time home buyer's purchase of a newly constructed home, or 5% for a first-time home buyer's purchase of a resale home, like existing home, or 5% for a first-time home buyer's purchase of a new or resale mobile or manufactured home. So the incentives, it's a shared equity mortgage. It's one that the government recently has come out with, and it's a great way of getting into the market if you're a first-time home buyer as well.
Okay, I think that's a lot of good information. Now, people might want to get a hold of you for more information about that program in itself. What would they want to do for that?
Cummins, what's my website, Curtis? MichelleCummins.ca. That one works.
I can't believe you had forgot your own website address.
CumminsRealEstateGroup.com works too.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with more of your questions.
Thank you.
And we are back with segment number 2 of the Cummins Real Estate Group show. Of course, your website address again, just in case people missed it last time.
MichelleCummins.ca.
That's the one I was thinking about. All right. Well, now we want to carry on and give us your, finish this top 10 list. I guess we're 3 in, so I guess we're on number 4 now.
Yeah, 4. Okay, how does mortgage loan insurance work? That is a very typical question. So there's common misconception about mortgage loan insurance and how it protects the borrower. So, it's not really the case. It doesn't protect the borrower. It actually protects the bank who's loaning the money to the borrower in case the borrower defaults. So if the buyer has a down payment of less than 20% of the purchase price, the lender will purchase default insurance and pass that cost on to the borrower. This can be paid upfront or tacked onto the mortgage payments and stretched out over time, so you hardly even notice it. So mortgage loan insurance is offered by companies like Canada Mortgages and Housing Corp., so CMHC, that is. There's Genworth Financial, and Canada Guarantee. So those are pretty much the three. There are some other private insurers, but those are the biggest three. So number 5 question, how much will I need for closing costs? So that can be a surprising one if you don't know it up front. So it's always important to have all your ducks in a row and know everything before that closing day comes. So closing costs will typically range from about 1.5 to 4% of the home's purchase price. These include things like legal and administrative fees and are payable on closing. You can expect to pay for a home inspection. For a rough idea of what a house inspection is, it is between $350 to $600, which is paid before you even know if you choose to purchase it. And if you're buying acreage that has septics and wells, then you're going to have extra costs for the water well test and the septic inspections. So keep that in mind. And then you've got the mortgage default insurance, which we just talked about. It's less than 20% down, but again, you can put that into your mortgage. But then that land transfer tax, that's the big one. The 1% on the first $200,000 and 2% on the remaining of your purchase price. Now, if you're buying brand new over under $750,000, they waive that tax because you have to pay 5% GST. If you're buying brand new between $750,000 and $800,000, then you only pay that portion on that extra $50,000, and then over $800,000, you got to pay the whole full new deal plus GST. So, legal fees are around about $1,000. Appraisal fee, if your mortgage provider puts that cost onto you, sometimes they'll cover it, and sometimes they'll just put it in your mortgage, but that may be something if needed. Make sure you budget for the closing costs. On a $500,000 home, closing costs can range between $9,500 and $12,000. So that kind of gives you an idea on a $500,000 purchase. And GST, as mentioned, so that 5% on top of the purchase price, that can also be put into your mortgage. So it's not like the purchase price and then, I got to come up with the property transfer tax if it's over $750 or $800, and I got to come up with 5% on top of that. Well, not necessarily. If you're pre-approved for a good amount and the property is less than your pre-approval, then there's room there to play with, and your mortgage provider, they will be able to put that into your mortgage, so you will only have to come up with what you have to come up with. But then keep in mind, new home purchases, usually the builder wants more if it's a master plan community or it's like new pre-construction. If it's not just a one-off, then they have their own rules on what they want as a down payment, and sometimes it is 15% or 20%. Sometimes that could be negotiated as well. And let's talk about that. Did you know that you can and should have a buyer's agent represent you for new home construction? I mean, this is a question, too. It didn't make it in the top 10, but I know a lot of people, a lot of realtors, even family members. I just saw this the other day on Facebook, a post, realtor to realtor, that their sister went in and bought through the show home, through the builder, and then let him know, like, I went in and, love it, and this and that. And he's all, because he wasn't there on the first showing and didn't introduce it to her, there's no way he can help her now. Well, I mean, he can, just being a brother and can go in there maybe after the fact if she didn't sign off without, protection. But there's so much your buyer's agent does for you. Negotiations is one thing, but just protection, and also all of the questions that you don't know to ask. So many buyers don't know, what to ask. So they just see a show home. They know there's a sales representative there, and they don't think that the builder pays the buyer's agents, but they do. They do cooperate with us. They just want us to be there, and they want to know that you have a realtor up front. So don't feel pressured into, writing an offer or moving forward with them, because they will make you feel comfortable. That's part of their job, but their real job is the protection and looking after the seller. They work for the seller, not for those buyers walking through the door. So make sure that you let your buyer's agent know that if you're looking for new, or if there's anything that looks good, let them know before you go into that show home. Give them a heads up. Give them the opportunity to be there with you, because there's so many questions that we ask that you wouldn't even think of. So do that. Always speak with your agent beforehand. Okay, so number 6, should I lower the list price or offer an incentive to sell my home faster? So this is a typical one as well. And reducing the price, the listing price, is the way to go. It's critical that you list your home for the right price in order to attract interest from buyers and generate serious interest in your listing. It's all about numbers. It's a numbers game. How much exposure can the listing have and get? How many inquiries do you have? How many buyers are you getting through the door? So the more buyers you have through the door, the more chances you have of offers, and the more chances you have of bigger and better offers. So definitely the price will expose it to more buyers. Simply put, that is it. So if you're thinking, oh, well, but I'm going to, give them this and I'm going to give them that and I'm going to leave this for them and, whatever the case is, so you think, oh, I'm going to put that price on it, or I'm renovating. So, as I'm renovating, I want to ask, $50,000 more, but yet you haven't put those upgrades in the home yet. Always go with the lower list price and negotiate things afterwards. So that is the way to sell your home faster. 7, what color of houses sell fastest, right? So when you are doing some prep work or some renovation, or maybe, you're thinking, oh, I might sell in 5 years, but I'm going to paint my house right now. What color should I paint it? The stats used to be yellow houses sold. I remember talking, I think a year and a half ago or so on the show, that it seemed to be a yellow, the right shade of yellow, but it was bright. It made people happy. But really, the easy answer is simply it depends on where you are. So the color is important, but having the color that is prevalent in the community and keeping that color complementary to the vintage of the home as well is likely best. So in a master plan community where there's like 4 or 5 colors or there's a shade, and then you're going, oh, I like purple. Purple may not suit the area. Maybe you're out in nature. You kind of got to go with where you're at and what age and type and style your home is. White, it does seem to be right now that white, specific shade of white with that charcoal dark, almost black color is quite popular. But again, it really depends. So look into that. Have a designer help you out. So number 8, what should I look for in a lucrative investment property? So whether you're thinking about resale value down the road, a quick rental and flip job, or for long-term rentability as a landlord, location is the golden rule of real estate. Your home is not an isolated island. For investment purposes down the road, it might be tougher to sell a nice house in an unappealing community. So I know that's where, you don't want your emotions to rule you when you're buying an investment property. It may be the most beautiful thing ever, but if it's not in the right community or on the right street, or, then you may have a tough time selling it down the road. So homes near public transit lines typically sell faster and for a higher price because it's just convenient and it's that quality of life that buyer is looking for. So anyways, that is that. Consider the factors for a solid investment property. Some of these factors is the area, experience population. Like, are they experiencing that? Income and employment growth. Are they experiencing that? Will the area benefit from an economic or real estate ripple effect? Be aware of that. Can the local infrastructure support the expected growth? Are there any major transportation improvements in the works, like the widening of Low Heat Highway right now into Mission? Is the area attractive to baby boomers' lifestyle? Is there a short-term problem occurring that is likely to disappear in the future? So, these are just different questions you want to ask yourself depending on what type of investment property you're looking at. So let's move on to number 9. Does a higher credit score mean a better mortgage rate? Well, you would think so. Sounds like it. Your credit score is it's a measure of your financial health. So according to the Government of Canada, your rating, it indicates the risk you represent for lenders compared with other consumers. So the credit reporting agencies, which is Equifax and TransUnion, use a scale from 300 to 900. So high scores on this scale are good. The higher your score, the lower the risk for the lender. Thus, a higher rating will typically secure a better mortgage rate since you're considered to be more likely to make your scheduled payments. So that's pretty much an easy answer for that. If you have a poor rating, do some damage control before you apply for your mortgage. So your credit, you can actually go on and for free check your credit score at least once a year. So go on to their website, register, check it, and you can actually purchase, I don't know how much it is, but you can keep an eye on it where they will automatically email you alerts of any changes in your credit report. So if you're thinking about buying and you check your credit score, check your credit, because sometimes there's old information on there that you need to apply to have removed. They shouldn't be on there anymore, and that will affect your score. So keep the creditors accountable for updating the information on your report by having to look at it, reviewing it, and making the steps to apply to remove old information. And then get yourself on that alert system if you're trying to build up your credit. There's professionals who teach you how to do this, how you can build your credit really quick, and it does happen really quick. So definitely don't be shy if you're worried you don't have good credit. There is simple steps and ways of raising that credit score. Okay, so number 10, the last and final question answered here today. What do I have to pay a mortgage broker to help me acquire a mortgage, and how much do I have to pay an agent to help me find and buy my house? So home shoppers typically pay no fees for a mortgage broker and or the agent to buy a home. So a lot of people don't know this. It's amazing how many times people ask me when they talk to me, oh, how much are your fees when they're buying, right? When you're listing, of course, the seller and the listing agent is the one that comes up with what those fees are for the realtors. But for sales, there are two real estate agents involved in the deal, one that represents the seller and another who represents the buyer. And the listing broker representing the seller, they're the ones who charge a fee to represent them and market the property. Marketing may include advertising expenses such as radio spots, like I do, print ads, television, and internet ads. The property will also be placed in, of course, the local MLS system where other agents in the area and nationally will be able to search and find the home for sale. Agents who represent the buyer, which is the buyer's agent, are compensated by the listing broker for bringing home buyers to the table. When the home is sold, the listing broker shares their listing fee with that buyer's agent. Thus, the buyers don't pay their agents. And with mortgage brokers, they have to have their hands in like 100 cookie jars, let's say. Like they're all the banks, all banks and lenders of all sorts actually go to the brokers and rely on mortgage brokers to find them customers for mortgages. Most banks, they don't, even when they do have a mortgage specialist in-house, they really don't advertise and they don't vie for customers. They don't go out looking for customers. They just, when customers come in, if they're already their customer as at the bank, then of course they can give them their mortgage. But mortgage brokers actually get paid from all the lenders saying, hey, we got to kind of rely on you because we don't market and advertise for this. That's why we pay you. So they pay them a fee, and it's different, but typically around 1% maybe of the purchase price, your mortgage broker will get paid from the lender that you choose. And so it's wise to get, and good mortgage brokers usually will give you a couple different of the best options out there for you and your needs and what you want. So there you go. So that's really good news for shedding some costs for being a property buyer. And I wanted to congratulate. We talked a lot about new homes lately, and this last week I actually had two first-time home buyer couples of mine. One just sold their lot. They just bought one and put the sold sticker on their new home, detached home in Maple Ridge in a community called the Uplands. It's so pretty. So, Dalajazzi, just congratulations. I'm so excited for you too. And they just made a beautiful choice. And congratulations to Ralph and Jasdeep for their move this week and they're getting possession of their new townhouse in Mission. And we just did the walkthrough this last week of it, and good builders, they did a really good job. And I want to say 1 month anniversary. I can't believe how fast time flies by. Oh, for Joel and Laura Klassen. So congratulations on your 1 month anniversary of your home and property and acreage. And I wanted to mention, before we go on to this new listing and open house I have this weekend, Curtis, did you have, going back to the questions I was going to ask you, was there any questions that you had that
No, I
didn't
think
cover?
you actually answered a lot of the questions as I was playing along here. I was playing the home game, well, the work home game, and I didn't actually. I was like, nope, I would have asked that, but she got to that. Nope, she got to that one too. So I think you covered everything.
Oh, excellent. There you go. See, I knew it. I knew it. So this new listing of mine, an open house today and tomorrow, I'm going to be at, and it's between 2 and 4 p.m. The address is 2174 Dolphin, like swimming in the ocean. It's in Abbotsford, and it's just gorgeous. It's a private yard. It's a rancher with a full walkout basement. There's no suite in it, so it's a beautiful home to just enjoy yourself. Great rec room, games room downstairs, bedrooms, bathroom upstairs. It's totally renovated, as I said. It's really nice. Big deck out the back, and lots of parking. And the garage is huge. It's a huge garage and a big workshop inside the garage, and back access to the yard. So that's great. So come out and see me there. $889,900 is the asking price, which is actually fantastic for that. And then coming up, the 1st of August, I've got one off Millstone Court in Abbotsford, and it's priced at $998,000. It's a great 4,200 square foot quality home in East Abbotsford. That is Millstone Court. And keep an eye on that. It's back onto green space, and there's great schools in the area and trails. We were talking about hiking earlier. Great trails also in that area. And I wanted to end our show. I can't believe it's already over. I wanted to end our show with the quote of the week.
All right, well, let's hear this quote.
Never give up on the things that make you smile. And that is Dr. Seuss.
I thought I recognized that one. I think I actually knew one for a change.
Yes, because before, a few weeks back, you thought one was Dr. Seuss, so I came up with the Dr. Seuss one for you.
I like that. I like that a lot. All right, well, if people want more information about the services you provide, what can they do, Michelle?
They can always check my website out at michellecummins.ca.
And join us again next week when we will unlock your real estate potential on a show where real estate is maximized. Thanks for listening.